Hi there, Cancer. Thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for July. Now, the Sun is in your sign through till the 21st, and this is usually an opportunity to strut our stuff and show people just how individualistic we can be. But because you have Mercury, the planet of communication, and also Venus, the planet of love, tucked away in your 12th solar house for some of this month, you may not feel quite as go-getting as would normally be the case. And this could make you a little bit defensive, particularly in weeks 1 and 2, when the Sun goes face-to-face with Pluto and then latterly squares up to Uranus. I think the best way to deal with this is just to accept that the momentum of this month is not necessarily going to start to happen straight away. It is going to take some time for you to work your way into things. And having an understanding of the more psychological side of life will certainly help you. And also, Venus is going to be combining very, very well with Mars broadly through the first 2 weeks of the month. The suggestion here is that the things you think about in terms of your relationships and how you relate can gain a lot from some quiet reflection or talking to people who tend to be very honest with you. Now, that's usually our very best friends. But if you tend to be surrounded by people who you sense perhaps tell you what they think you want to hear, try to seek out someone who will be more authentic in giving you their insights, because that actually can be hugely helpful to you. The big change is going to start to happen from when the full moon occurs on the 13th, because then Mercury moves on the same day into your sign. And I think you're going to start to feel more clarity, more drive. Now, the full moon itself does suggest that if you're being too single-minded, someone could have something to say about it. But I think the problem is that part of you could want to go forwards, but another part of you could be held back in the early parts of this month by a few hidden doubts and voices coming up in the back of your mind questioning if you're on the right track. Once Mercury joins with you, I actually think the full moon can be a precursor to a more dramatic and dynamic part of the month. Now, on the 18th, Venus is going to move into your sign too, and this is a real game changer. You move from a more reflective mode into a more live in the present one, but also it's going to pump up your sex appeal and give you a real sparkle and charisma. You may have this all the time, of course, but just naturally the stars are going to give you just more luster, and it will get much easier to demonstrate your individuality. You may even find yourself giving yourself a rather alluring makeover at the heart of the month. On the 20th, also, Saturn, the planet of restriction, which has, unfortunately, been twisting backwards in your sector of romance for the last 5.5 months, and also of self-expression, starts to go forwards. For all of us, it's a sigh of relief, but for you particularly, if you have been feeling really cramped and not being able to flow quite as majestically as you would like, things will start to ebb forwards very rapidly. Now, on the 22nd, there's another big change, because the Sun moves into the succeeding sign from yours of Leo. But the things that you've been putting in place can start to show some physical evidence, and this can help you to shape things more effectively going forwards. So it becomes more about the function rather than the form. Now, on the 26th, we have another big change as Mars makes its way out of your sector of emotions and into the same area that Saturn is occupying too. And I think this is really going to rev you up. You're going to have a wonderful opportunity to really feel much, much lustier about life, to have a greater appetite for engaging and going for it. And generally, you're going to feel much better. Your financial circumstances can also be given a boost on the 25th by the new moon. Now, there's another thing that happens in your sector of finances this month, and it's really dramatic and exciting. And that's on the 16th, when Jupiter arrives for a 12-month occupation. Jupiter traditionally was about random strokes of luck. These days, in astrology, we tend to think it's more about what we're doing, and then we create our fortune a lot more. But it still can be very fortunate, and it combines with the Sun in the embers of this month in such a fantastic way that the sense for me is that if you're someone who has had an idea that you really feel has got much more scope to develop, whether you want to start a new enterprise or you want to do better in an existing one, then some form of good luck can fall for you as this month comes to a close. But before then, both Mercury, week 3, and Venus, week 4, go face to face with Pluto. And you could be tested by someone who will scrutinise your actions and your motivations very carefully, and you just need to be prepared for the test. If you come through this with flying colours, it will give you even greater confidence. But if you are being a little bit too self-centred, someone could just stand up to you and just let you know. And in some ways, although it might be hurtful, it might actually be just what you need. And as the month comes to a close, I think generally you're going to be feeling much more settled, and I think things can be looking very positive on a number of fronts. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Good luck, and goodbye for now.